to Sueldos and Soirees, a podcast dedicated to career conversations.
Today, it is the month of February. We are celebrating the season of love. So we are doing our podcast a little bit differently. We are deviating from the usual corporate, career-oriented talking points that we have.
That's right.
And we are going to dive deep into the topic that everyone loves, and that is...
What is it?
Love.
Well, I can't argue with that. But yes, that's correct. We're going to be diving deeper into the topic of love and, pretty much everything in between, like from self-love and overcoming heartbreaks and to defining the different types of relationships, the different social and cultural barriers that our friends from the LGBTQ community face. From all that, we are going to break love down and we are going to try to make sense of it all. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. If that doesn't make sense, it's going to make sense in our episodes.
Yes, so watch out for it.
Join us as we dibble-dabble into the world of romance, relationships, love, and everything in between that makes love so fun and also so complicated. So, yeah, we hope you enjoy this two-parter series of our Valentine's Day special.
In the second and final Valentine's Day special episode, we're going to talk about self-love. In our journey to loving ourselves, we ask a lot of questions. Questions like, what does self-love even mean? And how can I come to terms with who I am and eventually make peace with myself?
Our definition of self-love may vary depending on our personal experiences, our environment, our values, our different beliefs, and a whole lot of other factors and things that we consider. But regardless of what we think about self-love individually, self-love is something that we all have to understand, have to be okay with, and it's something that we have to conquer, as some may say. So yeah, we all share this want to understand what self-love is, and it's something that we hope to reach.
That's right. And it may be innate in most of us to give love. I think the primary question of that self-love really aim to sort of give light to is, do we even have enough love to give ourselves?
Oh, that's
very profound question.
That's very interesting. There's also an English actor whose name is Robert Morley. Yeah, I think I'm pronouncing that right. He said, to fall in love with yourself is the first secret to happiness. Is it? Is that what we find out during this episode?
That is what we are going to find out as we dive deeper into self-love and
with our fellow med species.
Special guest who will, again, help us shed light into this ever mysterious concept
of self-love.
Yeah. So join us and hopefully we'll answer some of your questions. Our first guest for tonight is Rianne. She is an operations manager for ER Tech Pros, and she's been with the company since August last year. Welcome, Rianne.
Thank you.
Welcome, Rianne.
Thanks for inviting me. Excited.
Yes, love the energy. So our next guest and our final guest also. Our second guest is Dwight, who is a training and development manager who has been with the company for almost a decade now, right? Mm-hmm. You're turning 10 next month, which is March. Yeah, because this comes out on almost a decade. So see, not you can long live and loyalty in med specialized. I love it. Let's go. So today, both of them will be sharing their opinions, thoughts, and stories about what self-love is, their experiences with love.
That's right.
Are you guys ready for today's discussion?
I think we are. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, we would usually ask our guests to introduce themselves first, expound on their med-specialized origin stories, as what Liz likes to call it. So let's start with Dwight. Take us back to when it all started.
Yeah.
Okay, well, almost 10 years ago.
Yes.
Very fresh in the memory.
I actually joined the company 2 offices passed. I think this is already my fourth actually, because there was a time when we had two offices simultaneously. So yeah, I started with implementation, and then I also had some stints with engagement, and so now 10 years passed. I'm already with training and then still doing a few engagement activities in the office. Yep.
Okay. How about you, Rianne?
How do you get started with Med
Okay,
Specialized?
so
Yeah.
I have a friend here, and then he took one of the bosses like for a drink in like a friend's resto bar. So I was there drinking with my friend when they arrived, and like so we got to talking and all that, and then he was saying that he was looking for an operations manager, and then I was just asking him, what's the background and all that, and so I was asking these questions. And it was like, okay, I think we can definitely work with you on that, and it says like submit your resume, and the rest is history. And she was the one who recruited me.
Yeah.
Oh.
So when she got here, I was like, oh my God, it's you, Harriet. And then I realized, oh my gosh, she's an operations manager. And I'm just like talking to her like we're BFFs.
So casually. Yeah.
I know people are like, who's that? Oh, she's a new operations manager for ERTech. Like, close.
With a high
First name
pitch.
basis.
Yeah, Harriet. Like, I haven't seen you in such a long time. Yeah, but how has it been so far for you?
I love it. I love the challenge. I was like in hiatus in the BPO industry for 7 years, and I'm back, and I really didn't have any expectations. And now I think that there's a lot of things to be done, but I think with the right people, and I have yet to collaborate with Dwight, which is I'm really excited about this year. And yeah, I really think like it's a great company to be in, and there's a lot of challenges, and that's when you're not bored, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the way to go.
You mentioned earlier that you were on a hiatus for 7 years from the BPO company. What were you doing during that span of time? If you don't mind sharing.
Doing self-love.
Discovering self-love.
Now that you mentioned it. Yeah.
What a good segue.
Yeah. Good job, Dwight.
Good job.
But yeah, actually, because we're going to be diving deep into the whole world of self-love. So I guess it would only be fitting for us to start off with, like, how do you define self-love? What is self-love to you?
Me.
Yeah, I mean, whoever wants to start.
Yeah, go ahead.
Rianne.
Go, I'm thinking.
Okay, for me, self-love, I think it's taking care of yourself, having healthy boundaries, and respecting yourself, and kind of like saying like, you know what, right now, these are my boundaries. I respect them. If you cannot respect it, then,
Yeah.
maybe not now. Maybe we'll talk when you're kind of mature enough to have that, because there are some people who don't understand that. But you have to love yourself enough to like really put your foot down and say, this is this is the line.
Was that an easy discovery for you?
Yeah, because I think as Filipinos, we were raised to kind of like make sure that the rest are taken care of,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
always like put ourselves last.
Right.
Right, because kind of like how we serve, how we love, how we take care of people around us, our family and all that.
Yeah.
And it's always like put ourselves last.
You're right.
So when you get past that and you realize that, hey, that this is not working for me, then you realize that you
Yes.
have to take steps to get to that.
What about you, Dwight? What's your journey with self-love?
Very good question. Because I'm really also thinking, like, when I got the topic, I was like, yeah, what is self-love for me? Because sometimes it's very easy to say that self-love is just really making yourself happy. But I think later on I realized, and especially with boundaries is a very nice idea there. You really need to decide. Self-love is really making tough decisions because, we're always taught to be selfless, and to always, as much as possible, say yes to another person, for example. But it actually takes a lot of courage to actually also tell yourself that, hey, what I'm doing is not necessarily selfish. I just need to also make sure that, I'm not being put in a situation where I'm the one that's losing.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
Right.
True.
So for me, that's mainly self-love, the understanding of also allowing yourself to be happy. And then yes, allow others to be happy as well, as long as you don't sacrifice yourself.
Yeah, that's actually a very profound answer. Because going back to what Rianne said earlier about, being self-love, being sort of a new concept, especially to Filipinos. I mean, from when we were kids, the concept of putting other first.
Yeah, you have to be selfless. Put yourself last.
Yeah, it has been ingrained in our minds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also would just like to ask, because how do you sort of tread that line between just loving yourself without sort of being narcissistic? Because I feel like there is such a fine line separating those two, and if you're not careful where you tread, you could slip into either side.
Yeah. When we were like brainstorming on this topic, Pao asked, like, how do you not become selfish and just make decisions and justify it with, this is just how I practice self-love, and you end up being like a negative person. So how do you balance that out?
I think it's all about the intentions, right? For me, like now that I know how to take care of myself, like giving myself boundaries and all that, respecting those boundaries, I can take care of the people I love more.
Right.
Because then when you're selfish, it's just, I'm doing this because I can do it for the heck of doing it. And,
It's self-serving.
other people.
Yeah.
Right. But it's really more on taking care of yourself so you can have more energy. And, before I couldn't understand, like you can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah.
But then now you understand deeper, like what it really means. So
That's
it's all about intentions, guys.
Right.
okay. That answers my
the
question. I was like, we were not really debating, but we were like,
We're having a creative
discussion. And then I was like, you know what? Like, isn't that such a tricky thing to define? Because again, as I said earlier, it's such a fine line separating those two. And a lot of people kind of justify their
action.
their negative actions and their negative behavior by just saying, you know what, this is self-love. I'm just taking care of myself, without probably knowing that, they're just being selfish.
Selfish, yeah.
And
I think awareness would be very important, because just really being aware that there's people around you. The problem sometimes with selfishness is, you're making actions based on the idea that you're alone.
Right.
And I basically don't care if other people are there, but
I don't
when
care who
you're
gets
fully,
affected.
and to a point you're not even aware that there's really someone else there, that's gonna be hurt. So
Right.
I think self-love, finding the balance between self-love and selfishness is just really being aware that there's people around you.
Yeah.
So again, because of the idea that we're used to give everything to them, you're still aware that, I'm giving something to myself, and then some of it I'm also gonna give to the others around me. So you're fully aware that, I'm making this decision for myself, but still considering others.
Yes.
Because that you have your family around you, you have coworkers around you. So the decision that you're making is not really based just for yourself, but because that there's also other people.
How do you maintain your relationships with like your family, with your coworkers, with your significant others, your friends, and then also with yourself? Because there's only like 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
So you have to, and we're working like full-time jobs or like at least 9 hours in the office or doing your job. How do you find time to do all of those things and maintain those healthy relationships?
That's a very good question.
Oh.
Got you thinking.
No, because true, there's only 24 hours, right? But what's 24 times 7?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Do the math.
You know what? Let me pull out the calculator here.
Oh my god. 168.
Okay.
Oh, did you
There's
just do
20
that mental
Yeah,
math?
mental math. I didn't even Google.
So there's 168 hours a week. Right? So you don't have to kind of like be everywhere for 24 hours. But there's 168 hours a week. So you'd be able to kind of divide like, okay, so these are the things that I need to do. These are the people that I need to talk to, families that I need to take care of, right? And I have 2 daughters. And so I just really want to make sure that they're taken care of. First and foremost, my daughters. And then I get to work, right? And then my family. So they're very supportive as well. So they understand my friends. So, you know, it works. And
Those who
technology
mattered
helps.
most.
Yeah.
Yes.
Technology is helping as well, right? We can
Yeah.
FaceTime them or video
Yeah.
call them, right? And just spend 5-10 minutes, you know, kind of catching up. And then, you know, gotta go. I got laundry to do.
Yeah. You know you're in a good space when you can just say bye.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
And without feeling guilty about
Yes.
it.
Because you
So
know the
true.
next time
Yeah,
you'll
it's-
suddenly just pop up in my messenger
Yeah.
again anyway.
Yeah.
Right,
True, true.
right.
Yeah, because I asked that question because there was a time where I was kind of battling the fear of like, if I don't meet my friends like a certain number of times in a month, then
Gonna
it
lose
might not be
touch.
the same. Yeah, especially like when you're fresh out of college and
Yes.
you're it's a big shift to people having like different priorities now, different like work schedules. People are moving to different countries, different cities. So like there's a certain pressure of like, okay, I have to maintain these friendships. But then I've also realized that if like there are friendships that or there are like relationships in general that can be low maintenance. True.
Yes.
And like you can like sometimes I just meet my friends like twice in a year.
Yeah.
And our conversations are like just really highlights. There's
Yeah.
no like just chica to chica and like talk about other people. Like we're actually having a meaningful conversation about ourselves. And then it changed my perspective. Like these are the type of conversations that I would want to have because it like strengthens our relationship and we learn from each other.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
ikaw, Pao, like, do you have that like? Did you have that struggle before?
No, not really, because my friend.
Okay, you're perfect.
No, that's
Noted,
not what I
pal.
mean.
All right, you're the master of time and self love.
Because all my friends, like all the people that matters to me, are all here in Cebu. My closest friends, my barkadas, my family, they're all here in Cebu. So, and we kind of like my barkadas, we all live in sort of the same community, and then my family, we live in the same house. So, it's kind of the challenge is actually not finding time to reconnect and build strong relationships with them. It's actually finding time to sort of get away because like
It's the opposite of my
Because you see each
problem.
other every day.
Yeah.
like no matter how much you love the people around you, you kind of have, you know, the saying absence
Makes the
Makes the
heart
go
go fonder.
fonder,
yeah.
fonder, right?
Fonder?
Yeah, I think fonder.
Fondue?
Fondue. Cheese
Fondue works.
fondue.
But yeah, I think that is really true because no matter how much you like spending time with the people around you, you kind of have to. It pays to also step back a little bit and
Sure.
you know miss them a little bit. So yeah, that's actually was the challenge for me. It's the complete opposite of what your experience was like.
And I think that's, you know, while listening to that, I think that's where self-love actually comes in because
Yeah.
you realize that again, when you spread yourself too thin to everyone,
Right.
you lose yourself. And eventually you'll get tired.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
sometimes your relationships suffer. Because you
Correct.
just didn't realize, oh, I'm getting tired of
Yeah.
you know, entertaining
maintaining
everyone
yeah.
and consciously thinking that this person should be 2 hours and this person should be
Right,
2
right.
hours. And then
Yeah.
eventually because you don't have enough time in the world, you lose yourself. Like you
Yeah.
forget, oh my
Yeah.
God, I also need to sleep. So
Yeah, when you're alone, you're like, what do
self-love
I
is really
like to do?
including yourself in that.
No, actually, I
you know,
think
thing.
self-love is really making yourself the center of like everything around you. Like, cause like what you said
Isn't
earlier.
it God? Just kidding.
I feel like
Coming from me.
No, what I was trying to say was, what was I trying to say?
self-love
Sorry, Pao,
means
sorry,
putting
Pao.
yourself in the center,
No, like,
Putting yourself
making
in the
yourself
center.
God.
if you're like, if you're like giving too much love to everyone and then you forget to sort of give love to yourself, now you're gonna sort of run out of not just time and effort and all that to give,
It's draining.
because it's draining, right? So it
yeah.
ends up sort of negatively affecting, I'm sorry, the relationship, your relationships with other people, not just your relationship with yourself,
Yeah.
right?
That's true. Yeah. Also going back to what Pao said of like creating like space for a healthier relationship. How do you think that affects your relationships? Like creating a healthy distance also from
That's
the
the
people.
word. Healthy distance.
Healthy.
I was like, which word? Yeah, because I have friends where, if they're like, I have friends who've moved out of the country, and then when they got back home, they realize that, oh, my relationship with my family or like with my friends are so much healthier when I'm away, because there's that space of like, you miss each other, you want to talk more, but when you're here in the same household, you're kind of feeling like you're annoyed all the time. Your mom's always asking you, where are you gonna go? What time are you gonna go home?
Right.
So, so how do you think distance contributes to a healthy relationship?
Well, for
We'll be
me,
right back after
Thinking break.
I think it's really a matter of how strong and how organic your relationship is with people, because imagine like in your college days, maybe there's 50, 100 people,
Right.
you know, that you know. But the question is, how many of those are really strong and organic relationships? So distance, I think, is a key factor in determining, you know, which people really, you know, with distance will get stronger, you know,
Yeah.
the relationship gets stronger, and those where you start falling out because, you know, maybe it wasn't just as strong. So
Yeah.
it's a good test. The way I see it, you know, distance is a good test. I wouldn't want that in a romantic relationship. Let's be clear. But
That's where I was gonna go next. Like,
no, not
what?
that.
How do we feel about LDRs? But we'll talk about that after.
For friends, I think I've proven that.
Yeah.
You mentioned a decade, right? I've been in this company for a decade already, so some people would be thinking, oh, how old is he? So I think there's that part that I've proven that, you know, I really have friends that are, you know, not in the Philippines anymore, and we just chat like twice, 3 times in a year, sometimes just birthday events and
Yeah.
you know, Christmas. But I know well that the relationship I have with the person is as strong as when we were together in college.
Yeah.
I just know that.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. So Dwight, LDR.
No,
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 a
You don't-
strong
not
no.
for me.
not for you. But do you think it can work for other people?
I think it can. I think it can. I don't have anything against the idea of long distance relationship. It's just really a matter again of decision. If you know well each other and you know that that kind of setup works for you, I think it can work, but not for me.
Why not for you?
I am the type that's physical. So
Like you want to hold hands.
yes,
So your love
you know?
language is physical
Yeah.
touch.
Yes,
Like you can-
yeah, love
yeah.
language,
Love
right?
language, yes,
So
yes.
I'm the type that prefers to see the person
Mm-hmm.
every day or almost every day,
right.
and when we talk, we're really talking face to
Yep.
face, you
Yeah.
know, and yeah. So I think that just works better for me, and I think I will end up falling out of love if, you know, if it's long distance relationship.
Copy paste.
What about you, Rianne? Also,
Copy paste. No,
the same?
because I've seen it happen. Like it works. It works for some, but not
Yeah.
all. For me personally, I don't think I'm the LDR kind of person. If it's been long, but if I'm in a relationship, I'd expect I'd expect companionship, right? And video calling your better half is not just gonna hack it for me.
Yeah.
But I admire her. Let me just be very clear. I admire those that are able
Make
to
it work.
sustain
Yeah,
and
like
really
they make an
keep it that
effort.
strong
Yeah.
because
Right.
you know, I just feel like wow, you have the love and the discipline and the
commitment.
determination to make it work, because it's not easy.
So do we just not have the discipline?
maybe.
Yes.
Maybe.
Shout outs to like OFWs,
Yeah.
right? Who
Are we
Yeah,
just not committed?
true.
Yeah.
True.
What about you, Pao? Do you think are you team LDR?
I don't know. Like I've been in like an LDR relationship. How do I even say this?
No,
I've tried.
You can do it.
I've experienced LDR before, but it's not like really that far. We would see each other once a month or probably like every other month. And we managed to make it work somehow. But for me personally, if I had the choice, I would also prefer to have my significant other close.
Was the distance the reason that it ended?
No, it wasn't. It's not. Yeah.
So what happened? So what happened?
You listen.
3 interviewers now.
So we've shifted the responsibility of hosting to Dwight and Rianne. We are now the guests.
guests.
Yes, taking
Yes.
questions. I'm ready. No, but I want to go back to Rianne. I'm just dodging the question.
Yeah, because I was about to transfer it to you as well. Pao had his.
Let's go to Rianne with what she said with
Very sleek.
the relationship and companionship being like a key factor for
Yeah.
you right now. What are the makings of an ideal companion at this point in your life?
Ooh, very profound question.
Very. Thank you for your question.
You're welcome.
Communication. And like I'm in my 40s now, so I'd really appreciate it if the person that I find accepts like me
Yeah.
and like my past and all that, and like I can accept him and his past as well, right? And like just really open communications. And I'm like all the quirks and the craziness that I have.
Can you share some of your
No, thank you. Next question, please.
Sample.
If anyone out there is interested, just slide into Rianne's DM.
And include your resume.
Yeah,
She's hiring.
No.
yes.
Urgent.
No, this is the fact, right? Because I can't do chats. Like I have low attention span.
Yeah.
For that. And
Yeah.
it'll end up like I'd be like, maybe they take it as offensive.
Right.
But for me, I'm just like saying what I have, like no filters, right?
Right,
Because
right.
for me, like if you're into a relationship, then you don't have to have a filter.
Yeah.
That
Bare
person
all.
should know you, and just accept it. And then if I've really offended the person I love, then I apologize for it, because it's something that I don't want to do, or that wasn't the intention, right? So so it's hard.
It's hard out here.
I don't have the attention span for getting to know people or going out to know people.
So you're not on Tinder or anything?
No, I'm not.
No, just in LinkedIn. Still the resume.
Resume.
Where do you find your dates? Oh, LinkedIn. Just the usual.
LinkedIn.
I just actually wanted to follow up because you said earlier about communication. What does like an ideal type of communication look like to you? Because I know quite a few friends who say that they constantly talk. They talk every day, but somehow there's still a massive disconnect.
I was going to say maybe it's the connection.
Yes. That I think.
Poor
it's
Wi-Fi.
No
5
data.
Mbps.
4G.
Upgrade.
40 minutes upload speed.
But
Yeah, I think it's really the connection as well. There is the communication. Part of the communication is listening and understanding. It's not
understanding.
just really talking.
Yes.
Right?
Wow.
Because when it says
Super feel, yeah. Preach,
Yes.
Rianne.
Amen.
Yes, girl.
I think that you have
Yeah.
to listen to understand and not just to talk and be
listen
understood.
to understand. That could be a quotable quote for
Editors?
Editors.
Yeah, you got that? Okay, very good. TikTok
note.
content. Yeah, that's true. Because, wait, why?
What's true? What's
is-
true?
which one is true?
No, okay. Because before, when I was in a relationship and we would fight, it would always be like, I would voice out what like what my issues were or how I felt. And then the direct response is like, well, no, you're wrong because. And it's not necessarily that I want to be right. I just want to be heard and I want to be understood. So I think that's like one of the lover boys tips out there. Another quotable quote
Yeah.
for TikTok content.
For that, like when you're saying that, this is how you feel and all that, I think that the natural instinct of the other person is to be defensive.
Yeah, like, no, I didn't do that.
So there's a
Yeah.
wall already.
Yeah.
So once the wall is up, then there wouldn't be any understanding.
Yeah. Yeah. But also, I think it's hard when you know you're in the wrong and it's hard for people to kind of like
Admit.
accept, and admit that, okay,
wrong.
this is my fault.
Yeah.
Yes.
How do you, like, what's your advice for people who may have like a struggle with that? Because I know I struggled with that before. Like, I didn't want to be wrong. Like, I'm always right.
I think I'm still struggling with that.
Yeah.
Where do you think that comes from? Or where does that stem from?
Age.
Oh,
When you're old enough. No, I'm saying.
What you're saying, once you get older, it gets better? Like,
Yeah, it
I
gets-
hope so.
Yes.
It cannot
yes.
get worse
No.
from here.
yeah.
Seriously, because like for me, like I feel that, or I'd like to think that I've learned the more difficult lessons in life, right? So
Yeah.
you're more accepting and all that. But at the same time, when you accept others, you also have to accept yourself. Self-love.
Self-love, going
and
back
then
to
so when you know that you're wrong, it doesn't have to be like you have to kind of swallow your pride.
Yeah. That's the
That's
usual
always that.
trope.
No,
Yeah.
it's not necessarily swallowing your pride, but it's more on, okay, I'm wrong. And it's
Yeah,
okay
it's
to be
okay to be
wrong
wrong.
for as long as you acknowledge it and you do something about it.
Yeah. Room for
Beautiful.
growth. Right?
Boys. Okay.
noted po.
I love how it's all lover boys out there.
Noted po.
Tip number 2.
On my notepad here,
I didn't know this is men versus women.
we're just setting ourselves up for cancel.
No, but for real, I can honestly say that it really does go both ways. It's not like a man
Yes.
thing.
Yeah,
Maybe it
true.
just so happens that you relate.
Which one again? I think I'm ready to defend.
I'm just kidding. So, okay, Rianne, you mentioned like challenges in dating. What are tips and tricks to, like, for people who might be scared to be single on Valentine's Day? Should they be?
No.
Oh,
And why is that?
yes.
Because how many Valentine's Day have I? No.
Again, resume.
Because it shouldn't be. If you're comfortable with yourself, right? If you're comfortable with your being single and all that, and just going through the process, then it's fine. It's just another day, right? But like, and Valentine's Day, it doesn't stop with your other half or whatnot.
Yeah.
But it's also
It's not
I
just
have my
romantic
kids.
love.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not
I have my
just
kids,
romantic
so,
love that's being celebrated in Feb 14. And also, I would just like to pick up on what you said because I actually heard this podcast again. I forgot what podcast it was.
You need to start remembering the podcasts you listen
How
to.
old are you?
This is the second time. Like, we gotta give proper credits.
And I would just like to link it back to actually we do need to. I'm so sorry, but I would just like to link it back to the topic of self-love because I'm just gonna be rephrasing, but what that podcast essentially said was that the truest or the purest form of self-love is when you don't no longer require external validation.
Yeah.
And you're comfortable with yourself being alone, so that the company of other people is is just a nice to have and an
it's
option,
addition.
not a necessity. So so it's okay to be single, I guess. In Feb 14, there's nothing wrong with that. You can celebrate it by just loving yourself and loving the people around you.
Yeah.
or going out for drinks.
Yeah,
Come on.
Why not?
You don't have to be like alone.
Right.
You can go out with with
Or
your
submit
friends for
your
drinks.
resume too.
Or go to
Whoever
LinkedIn.
wants to go get drinks with Rianne.
Message on LinkedIn.
This is a casting call.
LinkedIn is the platform, not any other platform, okay?
I got friends telling me like, like download Bumble. I'm like, no.
Why?
No, I don't see the educational background from there. I can't
No
tell.
CV.
I can't tell the career trajectory.
Yeah.
What about you, Dwight? How are you spending your Valentine's Day?
Well, you know what? It's funny because coming from someone that has been in a very long relationship, a strong relationship, Valentine's Day is a normal day. For us, there are instances when we really decide to go out and eat here or do something fancy. But at the same time, there are, I think, a few instances when we just really celebrate it as if it's a normal day. Yeah. And going back to what you said earlier, Pao, there's really that part that even when you're in a relationship, you still need to value that part where some of your decisions do not necessarily need to rely on another
Other
person's
peop- yeah.
decision. Of course, you talk. You
Yes.
talk, you communicate, you make a decision together, most likely. But at the end of it, you should still be able to say that, that decision,
it's
it was also
yours.
my decision.
Yeah.
It's the both of us, but it was also my decision. So when it comes to February 14, I haven't even thought of anything. Oops.
Ooh.
Now the person knows that, I didn't think of
Edit that
anything.
out. Surprise.
But yeah, I think it's still a normal day.
Yeah.
What's your secret to your strong,
Long term.
long-term,
How long have you
good?
been?
How long have you been together?
You didn't brief that I'm going to be asked of this question. The person might get angry. I think 9. 9 or 10. 9, I think 9.
Boy, 9 or
I
10,
think
be
9.
sure.
Above 8.
Above 8.
I'll just be clear, it's above 8
that's
because
okay.
we celebrated one time when I thought it was 8. The balloon was 8, but it was actually still our 7th.
Oh,
So the balloon was used the next year. So right now, I'm pretty sure it's 8 and above.
8 and above.
I'm pretty sure it's 8 and above.
What's the secret to your
Oh, sorry.
What's the secret sauce to your long-term relationship?
I think I really would say it's understanding, because to start with, I'm someone that needs to be understood.
I
Let
relate
me just begin there.
I'm there with you.
It's not even that, I need to
I
understand
love the
the other
self-awareness.
person.
I actually
Yes,
love
I'm
it.
very
Yes,
self-aware.
yes.
Like,
Because we love ourselves.
sorry
we
for
have
saying I'm very
self-love.
self-aware. But the way I see it is, it's really understanding because there are instances when I feel like, this is what I want to happen and then the other person does not like it. So I need to understand that and probably find a common ground or stand on the decision, say, no, I want this to happen. But there's that part where you need to understand. And at the same time, the other person also really needs to be understanding. And for us, I think it has worked because of that. Because trust me, we had crazy fights, a lot of crazy fights, a few petty things, a few things that are really like worth fighting over. But then it always goes back to talking about it. We're not even the type that, can sleep or that idea that don't go to bed when
When
it's
you're
not yet
Yeah.
fixed or
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
still
yeah.
having. No, we just sleep and still not.
yeah.
Because some
Talk
problems
about
you
it.
can't
True.
Right,
fix
right,
right
then
away.
and there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
some things need to like a month for you to think about. Like, is this actually okay? Like, is this the right shade of bed sheets that we want to get? Like,
And I think you'll need to understand me with that because 1 month is too long also. Like
Yes,
yes, 6 days. Okay.
Or give it 3
Okay,
days.
so-
3 days tops.
okay, so 3 days is a healthy. Okay,
Yeah.
Take note, Liz.
Less than 48 hours, honestly.
note to
Fix
self.
this as quickly as possible. And the other person has a tendency of really taking a bit of time, and I'm the type that, wants that thing where before we go to bed, it should be good and
Yeah.
fixed and everything. So even that, we're at an opposite when it comes to that idea. So someone needs to understand the other person. In some instances, I needed to adjust. And then in some instances, the other person needed to adjust as well with what I wanted. And I think that's why it is working.
So I think it's really just, it boils down to just compromise, right? Like,
Yeah. And earlier when you were also talking about, I forgot what you were talking about.
But you thought of
so
something.
forgetful here.
Yeah.
But I thought of
What's
something.
important is what you thought about.
It had something to do with, some relationships are really just gonna happen because it's meant, and there's that chemistry and it's just really organic. And then there are those relationships really that you need to build.
Yeah.
There are really those that started out of nothing, relationships that started out of, just people shipping you together, those kinds of things. And you make it work. So that's, I forgot what was the conversation earlier, but it had something to do with the idea that I felt like, it's really not a one-way kind of thing for building relationships. Yeah. It's really like, sometimes it's natural, sometimes you'll need to work for it.
Yeah,
that's true.
Makes sense. Look, as much as I'm enjoying this,
Are you really enjoying it?
I am. Look, I'm actually like learning a lot as well.
Yeah.
But
Are you
we
taking
have
down notes?
we have to take a quick break. And by the way, once we come back, we will jump right into our special segment. Really, really fun. But yeah, do tune in, and we'll be right back. And we're back. For this, at this juncture, we will do our
Twitter?
this is actually pretty new segment.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's a new
and I think
segment.
this is just we made this especially just for these 2 episodes.
Yes.
For Valentine's.
Valentine's Day special.
Yeah, just to explain to you, we did post a couple of questions on Twitter for which the med species can reply to with their interesting and peculiar stories, which they did. We actually got a lot of answers. We're gonna be reading a couple of them to you guys. Liz, do you want to read the first one?
Sure. So one of the questions we asked was, what's your weirdest dating experience? So you guys can try. You have time to think about about if you want to share something or not. But this person said, my weirdest dating experience was when I was in the talking stage phase with 4 different guys. Get it? Which
Go, girl.
go get it, or guy.
Or guy.
Who knows?
I mean, just go.
Just go get
You
it.
do you.
So turned out that 2 of them were brothers. And
So this is a girl. Because brothers. Or no, you know what? No judgment.
No. You know what, Paula? Let's
let's
not
not
get
jump.
canceled. let's be inclusive.
Yes. Inclusivity.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 2 of them were brothers, and then the other 2 were classmates with the brothers.
Oh my God.
So this is what they say when the pool is small. It is really small. No
It's a
one said.
jacuzzi.
no, it's a puddle.
It's a puddle.
It's a puddle. It's not even
That's
a
not a real
jacuzzi.
saying, but we said it. So they were classmates with the brothers.
Yo.
It was before though in the
Let's not.
fun phase.
In the fun phase.
In the fun phase
Can we even
of
read
this
that? I don't
person. So now
I'm
she is a loyal and contented person.
Person.
Right? Do you guys have a crazy, weird dating experience? Like similar,
God.
like alignment of things?
Can we do creepy?
Oh, okay.
yeah, that could be
I
weird.
like that. I mean, I don't like it. I don't like creepy dating experience, but I like to hear it.
Yeah.
This is an October, November 1 kind of story. But, there was a time when I was dating a person and, you go out, you go to Busai, for example.
Yeah.
Wow.
For example. You go to Busai, for example, and then you enjoy the night and all that. And then as you are going home, suddenly the person would say that, you know what? I see ghosts. And there was a ghost there while the happy parts were happening. And one is with us right now in this car. I'm like,
That
yeah, from a sexy time to like, really? Really? Do we need to kill it right now while we're still traveling back down to Cebu City?
this
Like,
is not working out.
this is the end.
From sexy to creepy real quick, dude.
This is the last time I'm gonna see you.
Like, it was a very different racing of hair,
Yeah.
okay, this is the last one. I don't want to date someone that sees dead people.
Oh no! That's so creepy. Imagine
You had
just
an
like
audience.
You had
had
it.
an audience.
Yeah, it started with that, and I think that part was still okay.
Those
But the part when the
pervert
person said, "You know what, the
There's
the
still
ghost
someone
is right
else.
now. One is with us right now in the car." Like, oh,
That was it.
Thank you.
So the first half of the story was fine.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
A good 2/3 to 3/4 of it was fine because
Okay.
this all happened in the last like 5 minutes while we were traveling down back to
okay.
Cebu City.
Yeah.
Already, so like, okay. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that. We could have skipped that to tomorrow.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Not
yeah.
now.
So that was a good time. And that was the last time.
Yes.
Was that
Yes.
the last time that you saw?
It was. It was. Definitely.
Like very definite, very strong yes. Last time. Okay, what is the other question that we sent out?
Yeah.
Pao?
Okay. So the question number 2 was, who do you think should make the first?
Oh.
This is gonna attract some heated debate.
Oh,
Or
creative discussion.
Who do you think should make the first move? And Twitter user, I'm not gonna read
Saying the name.
Go for it.
Anonymous.
the anonymous sender said that I think either one should, to be honest. If you like someone, do something about it.
Correct. I
Do you
agree.
agree? Do you agree?
I agree in concept. I cannot execute.
Why is that? Why is that?
I don't know. I just feel like I can't say I like you.
Really?
I think I like you.
Okay, you shouldn't say it like that.
Not like that with the hair and all.
And then Dwight's gonna be like, okay, this is the last time.
Yeah. Creepy. Another set of creepy.
Another level. Yeah, but I totally support it. If you
Yeah.
like someone,
Go for
tell
it.
them. I just
Definitely.
don't have the guts to do it. Maybe that's why I'm
right.
very like this as a person.
You're Alyssa.
Yeah, this is me. But what do you guys think?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you like the person, go for it.
Have you had like experiences in the past where you made the first move?
No. Because at first, you'll never know if you really, really, really like them to the point of putting yourself in that situation. I don't know. But not yet. But I'm all for that.
So it only you're just waiting for the right guy to
Yeah,
sort of
I'm still waiting for that guy.
execute.
Guys, do your magic.
LinkedIn.
People of the internet. Let's get this done.
How about you, Dwight?
Well, for me, it's really I don't know even how to explain it properly without people going crazy about it. But for me, for a friend, I actually am up for that. I even tell friends really to, if you like the guy, especially for women, because normally it's women that would feel like, oh, I should not do it because, I should be a Maria Clara and stuff. But
No
I
more
really
Maria Clara.
have told a few friends, like, if you like the guy, you should let the guy know. And or else you'll lose the person without having the person know.
Right.
But then from a guy's perspective, and this is where the crazy part comes in, I actually, had those experiences as well. And I just really find it better when I'm the one chasing the lady. There
like the thrill of
becomes
the
that
chase.
little different
Yeah.
feeling when it's the lady that's doing the first move. Not that it's like you're not a lady
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you're hitting
Yeah.
on me first. It's not that. It's just really the chase.
Yeah,
For some
so
reason,
it's
I
for
can
you
see, like-
experience
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
like to chase.
Yeah, I prefer that,
Okay.
or I think my relationship got stronger when I did the first move. Something like that. Something like that.
Interesting.
What about you, ma'am?
Wow.
Of course, naturally, I would totally agree with that because, I mean, usually, like hitting the ground running is normally like a task or a responsibility that is relegated to men. Like it is always expected of men to hit on women and make the first move. But yeah, I think it should be normalized that women can also, I think it's also empowering to women.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't have to
Wait.
sit around and wait.
Yeah.
If you want something, go go get it, girl.
Yeah, go get it, girl.
Because some men are torpe, di ba?
Yeah,
Some men like you, but they don't know how to say it.
Yeah,
you know?
some
So-
people are actually grateful, like, oh my god, thank you for telling me because I also like you.
Yeah, there are those, right? There are those
Right.
stories, and you won't know that unless the lady would start letting the guy know.
Someone actually sort of initiates.
Yeah.
And or like, say for example, for someone like you who agrees to that concept but cannot execute it, like I think perhaps just leave some subtle but also
Okay, I can do maybe
Subtle?
not even subtle.
Not sure with a subtle part.
It's not even subtle.
yeah. I can do the not subtle.
yeah,
Yes.
something
But maybe
that.
like a percentage of the effort is
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
not
right.
the
Yeah.
full like
just to
yo.
just to let the guy know, you know that.
yeah.
Hey, you know what? Why aren't you hitting on me yet?
Yeah, or you use your friends. That's how others would do that,
Okay,
right?
see there,
Like,
that
you know,
Have
you
good
find
friends.
that bridge. Just be sure the bridge is someone you can trust, okay? You find the bridge, but that bridge should not be,
Be the
you know,
owner.
yeah,
Yeah. They
liking
said
the
that,
guy
no.
as well, or else that's gonna be a different story.
Yeah, definitely.
yes.
Hey, do you want to jump right into the? How do you say it again? Because you
The-
say it so perfectly.
Oh my god, thank you, for
invented.
acknowledging.
You invented this whole thing.
Thank you for acknowledging my one and only skill and contribution to this podcast. So we're gonna move into our special segment, which I would like to think we have perfectly named
Yes.
into the fish bowl
Ping pong.
ping pong ball.
started
Scrap
off-
that again. Take two. Ping pong ball questions from the fish bowl.
Ping pong.
Okay.
Did we just harmonize there?
You did.
Oh my god, we are now moving on to different careers. So, no more podcasting. We're now composers. So we're gonna ask our lovely guests to pick a ping pong ball
From the
There's
from
a
the
ping
fish
pong
bowl.
Those are ping pong
Yeah,
balls,
you will
yes.
feel
amidst the
you will
Okay.
feel
all the
the,
hearts.
Okay.
Get out of that.
you will feel the ping pong
You
balls.
will feel the
in
sphere.
The sphere.
sphere in your palm.
The round things from the fish bowl, and then there will be a number.
With a
Prop team
correspondent.
cannot stop laughing, and I cannot stop laughing.
A lot of edits here.
I know this is gonna be
You're
fun.
putting a lot of work on
I know,
like,
and I am sweating with what I just said. So, Yan, just pick the thing.
Yeah, just the thing.
The thing.
Just pick the thing with the numbers, and then we'll let you know what the number
The
question.
Question corresponds with the
corresponds to the
number.
number. There you go.
Rianne, oh my god! I think
We
we
were
should be the next
able to, you know, cross
there.
that. Good
Yeah.
job.
It was a challenge, but challenge
It's teamwork.
Yes,
Yeah.
very good teamwork. So
Who
now,
wants to go first?
who wants to go first?
Volunteers.
We no longer have our
Ladies
mystery hand,
first.
so I
Yes.
will. Oh, okay. Rianne.
Let's do
Yes.
Just one ball, Rian.
Yes. Number 8. How would you like to read the question?
Yes. Hang on.
Oh, we.
Boom. We're going to tackle this.
Actually, we should pick another question.
Should I get a number?
Another ball.
Another ball.
Another. Okay.
Just so you know, the question was in relation to
Yeah,
the Twitter
it's basically
question,
the
which
same
is
thing.
like who should do the first move. So let's do another question.
Yeah.
Okay. Second ball 6.
6, number 6. Ooh, okay. Tell me something. Oh, wait, what? Tell me. I can't read suddenly. Tell me about the embarrassing moment that happened in front of your crush.
Oh.
Oh my god, that's
11 years and something.
no, like I don't know, like maybe 3 decades ago.
That's the last time you had a crush.
Any
Any?
crush.
Embarrassing.
Like,
Story.
Okay, maybe okay. Oh yeah.
But even just someone in front of someone who you thought was cute or
cute,
something.
yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Sige. So my friends and I were out drinking, and like I think I mixed drinks and all that, and so I started,
Vomit it? Throw it up?
yeah, on his shoes.
Oh. Well, I hope
Okay.
those weren't expensive shoes, I hope.
They were.
Oh.
Good job.
Fine. If he has expensive shoes, he can afford to have them cleaned.
Yes. True.
Right.
So
Okay.
that was it.
I don't know. I'm trying to
Wait,
save
but,
the shoes.
he's still my friend now, so
Okay. Well, at least
yeah.
you know you didn't
Yeah,
fall
not
out.
that bad.
No.
Yeah. How about you, Dwight?
Oh, same question?
Yes.
Yeah, same question.
okay.
We're all gonna chime in here.
Oh.
Are we? No, like I mean, I guess just like
Same question. Embarrassing. Oh my god, I'm gonna eat up the entire time for this one.
while you're thinking about that, let me just actually let you guys know MedSpecialized Inc.'s Twitter handle.
Yes.
Right here? Okay. It's at medspecph. So please drop us a follow. It's also the same handle that we use for our other social media accounts, Instagram, Facebook. Yes. And do follow us on YouTube and Spotify and subscribe as well.
Yeah, guys, let us know you're listening to the podcast.
Yes. Also, how about this? Like, if you're listening to the podcast, why don't you drop us a comment below and tell us what topic you want us to tackle next?
Ooh.
Right.
Wow, look at us. We're taking requests. I'm looking at the other camera. I'm sorry. I'm looking at Paolo's camera. I don't think I can be seen there. I'm making eye contact with the wrong person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we would definitely appreciate your suggestions, and yeah, we will definitely consider them as well.
Yes, let's go.
So Dwight, were you able to think
Back
of
to
something?
you.
No, I'm zero on that part actually. I'm so sorry. I'm not sure
okay.
I can't
I think-
come up with anything.
Yeah, I think
okay.
that gives us more time for more questions.
Yeah.
So we can do that.
definitely.
Yeah. Dwight, go ahead.
So I'll just get another one.
Another one, yeah. Let's cross this out just so we know that.
Oh, two.
Number 2. Oh. Okay, I think we kind of asked this a while ago.
Yeah, kind of.
But if you want to answer, how do you want to celebrate Valentine's Day?
Oh yeah, we've
Yeah,
talked about that
right?
one. So
Okay.
second ball?
Yes,
Okay,
second ball.
fair.
So,
Yes.
Well, we've tackled
balls
we're so
each.
advanced in our thought process that we predicted all of the questions. Like
Is it 7 or 1? 7.
7. Oh, okay. If you could create a call name for your partner that is not typical, what would it be and why? What is that, Hegel? Rianne, you also have to think.
no, I don't have a partner, so not applicable.
If he arrives, you have
Yeah.
to be
Okay,
ready with like, this person is now here. I shall call you.
You. What?
Okay. Well, I think it's very much associated to our love for cats, and cats are basically our babies. So maybe a good call name. Do we call that a call
Yeah,
name?
yeah.
We have a
Call name would be Human. You know, hey Human.
Yeah.
You know, I love you,
cute.
Human.
That's cute.
You know,
Yeah.
just because of the cats. Feel free to use that, guys, for those that are
I'm
you know,
gonna steal it.
into pets as well.
Now I want a human.
Yeah, like,
Yeah. Okay.
can you cook for me, Human?
Oh.
Can you make my coffee, Human? Something like that.
And when you argue, they just become human. Human.
Yeah.
Who you like?
Hey, man.
Hey, man. Wait, you have cats?
Yes.
How many cats do you have?
We have 2. Zeki and Chansey.
Where?
Pokemon names.
Okay, I was gonna ask where those names come from.
Oh, those are Pokemon names. Yeah.
Okay, I can't relate. I'm sorry.
I'm not a cat person too. What?
I'm not a Pokemon
Oh,
person.
you're not? Okay.
Cats are cute. Cats are cute. But I find them cute, but I want them there. Like
Yeah,
they're
I
cute
find
there.
them cute and I want them there to just sleep also. Yeah. That's
But I
why.
think that's why cats are nice as pets because they really just do their own
Yeah.
thing.
Yes.
They're not high
They're like-
maintenance like
True,
dogs.
true.
Yeah, and you need to be ready with cats because with cats, they're the boss.
Yeah.
You're not
Yes,
the boss,
yeah.
definitely.
We have a cat at home. They just really do whatever they want. Like
Yeah.
they go in the house, they go on top of the table, like lie down on
You
the bed.
can be gone for days
Yeah.
and years and
Yeah.
months, and your cats will not really run to you when you
Yeah.
come back.
Yeah.
They love you, but they won't run to you.
Right,
yeah.
Definitely.
They're sassy like
they don't
that.
care about you and your existence.
Yeah.
Not unless you have food.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Food.
How about you, Rianne? Do you have like a call name in mind? Nothing.
I gotta find my human first.
I love that. You can use that, Rian. Find that human now, okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna go find him, or he finds me first. I don't know where he's at.
Yeah.
Probably. He's
And when he finds you, say, call me human. And that's it. It all starts there.
Oh my gosh. Okay, do we have time for one more question? So we have time for one more
Yes,
question,
we
which
do.
Rianne will pick out. Yes.
Okay, do you have like a favorite question?
Is that a 6 or a 9?
I know exactly. Is this a
Let's-
9 or 6?
9.
You know what? Let's
Six
make
or
that a 3.
nine.
Why don't we?
Let's go make it a 3.
Let's make that a
Why
3.
don't we make it a 1? I think
What about
one
that?
is,
You know
I
what?
think this
Yes.
looks like a 1.
Yeah,
you know?
that looks like a 1.
Looks like a 1 to me. Hey,
Or a 3?
Brad team says it's a 1.
one.
It's a 1. So
just a
what's
curly one.
It's a 1 with obstacles. So
Anyway, question number 1 is, how would you know? Oh, okay. This is actually a pretty useful.
See, it's a
advice.
very good number 1.
How would you know if things are getting serious?
Ooh.
That is quite a tricky plane to navigate. Guys, do you have any like piece of advice? Whoever wants to go
Okay,
first?
no one wanted question number 1.
How about you, Dwight? I feel like you already formulated an answer.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking of really how I realized that it was it. Well, okay, I have an answer for that one. There was a time when, I do dating and I wasn't really sure of things yet. There was a time when I wasn't sure what love really is or how it feels. So I basically told myself that when I get into a relationship where I feel like, okay, I should tell my parents already and this is the person that I want my parents to know, that's it. And yeah, a few times when I get into some relationships and then it wasn't there, I didn't feel the need to inform my parents that this is the person, and then this person came and yeah, my parents know. So
Has it ever happened to you before where you introduced someone to your parents and you thought that this person was already it, and then they kind of didn't approve, like they weren't feeling the person, and what did you do?
Ooh, that's a good question.
no, because honestly, this is the only
sayang.
person I introduced.
Oh,
Yeah. So that's why I
Very
thought-
sure.
maybe I'm not sure. Okay, I'm not sure really if that's how it went or it was all coincidence. But yeah, there was a time in my life when I really told myself that if it's not work, and previous relationships, I didn't think of that. I really didn't, maybe I was really thinking everything else for now will just be nothing serious yet.
Yeah.
But there came a point when I told myself that will become the time that I will let my parents know about introducing a person.
yeah.
And yeah, it happened, and yeah, we're still there. So maybe that was really it.
Aw, find a human.
Find the human.
Hashtag find a human.
Use that actually. Yeah. Hashtag find a human. How about you, Rianne?
Yeah, I think it would be if I find somebody it'll be serious if I introduce them to my daughters.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because for me that's very important. I do not come into a relationship single,
Yeah, yeah.
without daughters. And
So,
so
their
like,
validation is important
yeah.
to you. Got it.
and if they like him, then if they don't, then
Bye.
Bye.
nice to know you.
Nice to know you,
This was
human. Nice to know you, human.
Human, not the human.
Acknowledge Paulo's joke. Everyone give it
Good
a
job.
round of
How about you, Liz?
Good job for the entry.
Oh no, karma. Yes. So that's the end of the podcast.
No, it's not yet. Yeah, how about you? Like, how did
How
you
about
know
you, Liz?
it's serious? Or how did you know it's serious?
There.
I think I don't know yet. No, because I think there are times where you think that, if I see a future with this person, then that's when it's serious. When I introduce them to my parents, that's when it's serious. And then things just change. Like
Yeah.
you get there, like you introduce them, and then after a while, you're just like, okay, maybe
Was too soon.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
maybe I should not have done that.
Like oops.
So, yeah.
Right.
I think I'm yet to figure that out. But like in the past, if you're like willing to put up with the fighting, I guess. I think
yeah.
I'm still at that stage where that's when it's serious, although it's not really that serious. But that's my benchmark for seriousness right now, is if you're willing to put up with the hassle of like fighting and figuring things out, I think that's like a hint of it being like starting to get serious. Yeah. Because if you don't care about the person, like if you felt like I'm out, like I don't want to argue about this, I don't want to give it time. So,
But sometimes fighting with each other doesn't mean you're really fighting with each other. It's really more on you're fighting for what you want in a relationship.
Yeah.
yes.
Philosophy.
Yes.
Words by Rianne.
Yes.
Learn it, live
Let's
by it.
go.
That was so
Up.
poetic.
I know.
That was so poetic.
Quotable quotes.
Again,
TikTok entry number. I don't know. We have so many.
we lost count.
Yeah.
So many quotable
We have
quotes.
so many insights and soundbite. What about you, Pao? Don't try to.
I
There.
thought you were gonna close it.
No.
No.
We're spending time here.
No, I actually
how
don't.
did you know?
There. Same question.
How did you know it was serious?
Yeah. No, we were so young when we started dating, so I don't think that barometer of knowing when it's serious back then would apply to now. When we're much more matured. I actually don't have like a way of knowing. For me, it's like just something that dawns on you, because my reasoning for that is if you fixate on a certain event or on a certain
Criteria.
certain set of criteria on when a relationship is getting serious, what if that event doesn't happen? Or what if you miss or one of the list you don't get to check out? Do you then just just throw the relationship into the bin? Or so I feel like if you fixate too much on that, you're just limiting yourself. So for me, it's just something that comes to you at the moment.
That's actually nice, you know?
Very good.
That's really nice because
Yeah.
I think one thing as well that we can consider when it's serious is when it's not checking all the boxes, but it's working for some reason. Like your standards are there, but for some reason, all standards that you were thinking before, and you look at the person like, this is not what I was imagining,
But
But
you're
it
happy.
but it's working.
Yeah.
So
You're
maybe
happy.
that's serious.
So maybe it's not really the standards, right? It's not standard because I don't think like there's a certified agency we're in that says like, hey,
There's
they
no
have to be
such
this and
thing.
that, right?
Train for what you need.
Yes.
Right.
There is a
There's
certification.
no regulatory body
there is
for
a
that.
program
Yeah.
that they
Right.
graduate from.
So I think
It's a 2-year course.
Right.
it's more on like what society is telling us that what's supposed to be standard is
Yeah.
standard, but nobody really can say that except you and how you feel about the person.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you're going to be the one like dealing with this person and living with this person. So,
Light bulb moment right there.
Aha moment.
okay.
Yo.
So there, like, think of, okay, I want the tall and the this and the this, and then,
Yeah.
that's not it. So that's it.
yeah.
Oh, I know. No.
Right. Yo, as much
Okay.
I feel like
We can
I feel like we
end.
still have so much ground to cover. We still have so much things to talk about. How unfortunately we are kind of pressed on time,
Yes.
and dude, this kind of conversation deserves a second episode. I don't know if it's just me, but I don't know about you guys.
Comment down below.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, how about you, Les? What is sort of your greatest or biggest takeaway from our conversation with Dwight and Rianne?
Oh, okay. I think for me, it just strengthens my current belief of like love can look different depending on who you are, and relationships. Like, there's no like just because this dynamic works for Dwight doesn't mean that's the type of relationship that can work for Rianne.
Yeah.
So it's not, again, like it's not the standard of like, okay, this is what like society expects of me. This is what I see in the movies and the books. Like, oh, I heard on this is not the shade, Pao. Oh, I heard on this podcast that this is how like love should be. Because there are times where you
Podcast.
there are times when you like reach out or not reach out, like follow like YouTubers or content creators of like, oh, the relationship looks so nice. That's what I want.
Yeah.
But in reality, it just doesn't make sense for like your lifestyle, for your partner's lifestyle, and just your reality.
Yeah.
So I think setting your expectations realistically and being okay with not meeting those expectations sometimes is okay. And you don't have to
Yeah.
pressure yourself all the time on like, I have to check all of the boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
What about you, Pao?
I feel like my biggest takeaway here actually goes back to the
We can go back the dial. We can turn it back. Yes.
go back to the topic of self-love, because it's something that I prior to very enlightening
I love
episode.
it. Look who's learning.
Prior to shooting this episode, I have so many questions. I mean,
Yeah.
I still have a lot of questions about it, but I there's so much confusion and there's so much that I do not or did not understand.
You're pretty hesitant to like talk about this.
Talk about
yeah.
self-love. I actually talk about this with Alyssa and Rexo when we were brainstorming, but because I felt like self-love can easily be misconstrued as just entitlement in general and just being selfish. But right now from our conversations, I learned that self-love is again different to depending on who you are,
Yeah.
and that loving yourself in a way is actually the most selfless thing that you can do, because it opens yourself up, or you're actually pouring so much love into yourself that it overflows to the people around you.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Speaking words of wisdom, let it be, Pao, let it be.
someone later on will say, coming from that podcast.
Right.
And that was Paolo.
There was this
remember
guy.
the name.
Oh, you better remember the name of
Paolo
this podcast.
23.
Oh my God, this is Paolo 2023 version.
But yeah.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, yeah.
Very enlightening episode. I
yeah.
really enjoyed the conversation. Very insightful, you guys. Thank you so
You
much.
guys were
Dwight.
really great. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for sharing everything. You
And
guys
for
were
being so game.
Yeah, you're so open about these things. Like, for like a group of people that just really like sat together in
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
It felt like really natural and like all the walls were down.
Yeah.
So.
That's communication.
Even
That's
at the
the
very
woman that you're looking for.
at the very end, we're imparting knowledge. I love it.
There you go. So
Yeah.
thank you so much, guys, for staying with us here on Of Sueldos and Soares. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Stay tuned. We're gonna come out with more things.
Yes, definitely. More
Yeah.
exciting things. And yeah, this is unfortunately our final episode for our Valentine's Day special. But again, comment down below what topics or subject matters you want us to discuss next. And yeah, just tune in for more exciting things to come. This has been Pau.
This has been Elisa
Signing
signing off.